Hey everybody, Dren608 here. This is another stream of Unconditional Surrender, the CUCU campaign, my solo playthrough following the Collapse the UK, got that wrong, Cripple UK Collapse the USSR, strategy line for the Axis, and the counters I'm trying to come up with as the allies. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. Helps the algorithm of YouTube when it's searching for videos on Unconditional Surrender, and it also motivates me to go ahead and keep making these videos. If you really like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the notify button, and you'll be notified when I schedule another stream and or when I upload another video. Most of my videos are board war games, and most of my videos on my channel right now are Unconditional Surrender because that's what motivated me to start this. I hadn't seen a really good playthrough of the game, from beginning to end of the main scenario, main event scenario, so I just started a YouTube channel and said, I'm just going to put this out there and see what people think. And it's sort of cascaded into this continuous thing that is now a pretty good hobby for me. Keeps me busy. I also have a few other war games that I've done out there. So mostly I do vassal modules and then comment on the vassal log from each turn. This one I am using what's called the board game arena version. In the comments down below, there'll be a link to Board Game Arena. It is a very nice platform for lots and lots of board games, several hundred of them. So if you can't get together with your friends, especially in these days of the pandemic, you can do it online, and they are most of the games that I've seen and that I've tried are very well implemented. This is probably one of the most ambitious games I've seen implemented because of its complexity and size. So hats off to Luna LOL. He's she, I'm not sure of gender there. They are the person that put this together, and it's actually very, very good. All right, we're going to keep going. It's June 1942. The Russians managed to knock out a German armored last turn that had gotten itself out of supply and then was isolated. So the summer offensive here is going to be a little bit less strong because of that. It's going to take me a couple turns here to get that armored unit. Probably won't be back at full strength until September. So because it'll be built this turn, move next turn, and be flipped in July. And in August, because I'm so far into Russia, it's going to take it a very long time to actually be able to be used in the front lines. So that was a very good move on my part by playing the Russians. However, fair weather did come up again, so I don't get any respite. I had fair in May and fair in June, so there will be 5 total fair weather turns in 1942, and even without the armor, I'm not sure I can hang on with the Russians. I only have 30 will left here. I did try to I'm going to skip through the declarations of war because, no, we don't need any more wars right now. One thing you notice, the Germans are now up to 30 production points. Their extra, what the heck is this? Pop-ups all over the place. Yeah, there's my extra factories have started to come in. They start in June. I'll get another one in December. Then I'll get one every 4 months thereafter. So the Germans are now at 30 production points instead of 28, which helps a bit because I do have like 3 points I need to build. So that leaves me 27 to use. And then I have 3 aircraft over here. So if you count the 3 I have to build, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 aircraft, that could be 15 of the 30 that I might need to use. So I might not be able to do like a wholesale offensive everywhere. That's one of the things the Germans are going to have to decide. Are they going to go try and bust up this line in the open terrain? Because I do have 2 armored units down here and several infantry units, and just sort of hold along this river line for a turn or two. Or do I sort of hold along the Don Obviously, I have to get rid of this shock army. I can't let it get away. But if I kind of hold along the Don here and try to go up here where the army is, but it's in lousy terrain. So I kind of have a quandary on which way to go. I can't really do a lot in all directions, so we're going to see how that goes. I think for this turn that I'm not going to give anything to any of my allies. I really don't have... I have like one remaining to move here. So I really would like to get like a German infantry into this spot here, where the armory used to be. If I could get a German infantry into there and then move this Romanian back, like onto the mountains here. Romanians can get pounded by the Soviets because they don't have any inherent pluses. So, and I only have one ground support to support my miners. And I think I'm going to need to use that possibly for Yugoslav somewhere because they're along the front line in the north. So, yeah, the Germans are a little bit short of ground troops right now. But there's a couple on the way. All right, we're not going to give anything to anybody. We go into strategic warfare with the Soviets. I'm at 1 factory loss. He's at 1 factory loss. And what is the United Kingdom at? And the UK has been getting back some factories here. So I'm going to save my submarines at this point. Also got a heavy artillery, which will help me when I assault one of these forts if I have to. Right now it's +3 to +3, so I'm just going to let the dice roll. And neither one of us did anything to each other. So no extreme splits. And now we get over here. Now the West could throw in partisans. They've been working hard to get themselves back some factories. I could throw in my sub here. Right now I'm at full. And if I use it now, I won't have it to be able to use later. And if you go and scroll up here, he's going to get an ultra next turn. And then he also gets an ultra this turn in August. And I don't see my other subs not coming back till November. So this is the only sub I have for the next couple of turns. I think I'd rather take the chance of being down a factory beginning in July and not being down 2 come August. So use my submarine next turn when he's likely to use an ultra. If they use a partisans, then that means that's one less thing I have to worry about as far as invasions and things go. So I think I'm not going to use it. And now, by the same token, for me, you know, it's +6 to +2. I can use the partisans, and then the ultra, and then the ultra as the West. Odds are, if I use it, that I'm gonna at least get factories back, and I'm at lost factories of 4. If I can get 3 factories back in a row, I will be at maximum going into the fall of 1942, which means I can probably, with the new American ground force that's going to come in and some of their air forces, probably be able to actually, you know, do something as far as trying to open up a second front, whether it's in North Africa or on the Norway or in somewhere in France even. So I don't think I have the ability to get anything done with the partisans this turn, so I will use it for the opposite reasons of the Germans. I'm trying to get my factories back. All right, so we commit. And I didn't do anything to the Germans because they rolled really well. But I did roll well enough on my own with my +2 to get another factory back. So now the West is only down, they're down basically 2 extra factories because you always have to be down at least 1. So now 7 minus 3 is 4, plus 6 is 10. I'll actually have 20 production points next turn, whereas I have 18 this turn. And if I can do that 2 more turns in a row with the Ultras, even if he plays the submarines as the German, if I can manage to get, 2 more factories back, that would be in beginning of July, beginning of August. Come September, the last guaranteed fair weather turn of 1942, I would have 4? 6 plus 6 is 12, and I think I actually get a Lend-Lease in here somewhere, or maybe I already got it. So yeah, I already got my Lend-Lease. I get it again in November. Soviets get Urals factory next turn. Okay, so the idea here is if I can get the British up to about 24 points, they can seriously think about using the surprise attack marker for like an invasion at, say, Bergen or Trondheim, or Brest is a bit of a stretch. You need the partisans and or the airdrop and things, and it just gets you bottled up. But it might be something to cut off their strategic warfare plus for a turn if you think you can get away with it. And then there's always the traditional, torch, where you can just go into French North Africa and try and do something there. Or we can, attempt to do this down here again, to come back into Kuwait. So I don't want to use the surprise attack marker too early, but I don't want to wait too long and wait for the Russian collapse. So we'll have to time that pretty well. All right, so the Germans have a strategic move, and I really can't think of a really great one. Where do I go? What do I do? Who do I see? Where? Okay. Well, I don't. Does have some the BEF. So you could try to invade here at Brest. I need to have a counter to that. I was thinking about stripping this infantry unit, the 4th, and taking him off to the east. But it leaves me with no reserve for any invasion that he does, for me to bottle it up with. And I'm not sure that that's the right thing to do. So let's look over here in the east and see if there's something I can move around that makes sense. See, most everything is at the front, where it belongs. And the guys that are coming behind, I guess I could move these Yugoslav to someplace useful. Because these garrisons, like this Italian garrison, this Yugoslav garrison, their real job is to, like, if the Russians manage to, knock out a German army or something, and then there's a hole in the line, they're there just to make the Russians have to stop and attack them. They're not going to really stop them. But it takes at least two production points, maybe 3 if they're in rough terrain, and that could stop the Russian advance and give me a chance to have the German army, German line rebuild itself. But I really don't see. I suppose I could put it. I'm going to move another Yugoslav garrison probably up into this space. I'm going to put this one down here. in case I can't move that Romanian out of Rostov. At least I can kind of slow them down on the through there, and the West doesn't have any because they don't have anybody really on the continent. Soviet strategic move. This is a real interesting question. Unfortunately, this guy's not on a rail line, so I can't get him out of there. And the only thing I can think of, really, there's none of these guys up here on the rail lines can move because of zones of control. These guys aren't on the rail line. This guy can't get through because of zones of control. The only people I can really move is down on this arc. And I don't see any reason to move them. I mean, they're all in pretty good defensive positions. This guy's exposed at Sartov. But it's almost like, from my perspective as the Russians, it's like, I'm trying to get you to come this way. If you come south, I can run away. And then you're that much further from going north. And if you go north, then I can threaten to advance with the Southern Army and cut off your supply. So you kind of have to have a halfway decent line here, which lessens the attack values of who's going north to try and surround Moscow and whatnot. So I really don't have one with the Soviets. I mean, I could move this airplane away, but I'd just as soon leave it here and let him use up sorties to try and take care of me. So I don't have one with the Soviets either. All right, away we go. All right, so now we're in the German action subphase. I do have a surprise attack marker. I do have an airdrop marker. I'm not going to use those here. I'm kind of disjointed and out of position. I do want to take care of some Soviets here. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I could put this Italian. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so we're going to use the Italian to help block in this shock army. And we're actually going to attack with the armored unit. We're going to go ahead and come across. We're going to attack here because we're going to be +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He doesn't have an airplane. I'm +6 to +2 with like 2 or 3 attacks here, so I'm just going to go ahead and let the German armor do its thing. So I got a retreat. Now it'll be +6 to 0. Which, 6-1 split still screws me up, but it saved my airplanes. Okay. I have 4 movement points left. So I don't have a lot of really good moves here. What I thought I would do is go down here and take a shot at this infantry unit. So now he can throw a tanks in, become +2. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use the 5th Luft to make myself a +5. Because that's a real threat to the Soviets. You look on the combat results table, +5. Lots of retreats, but there's also a fair amount of DDs. There's like 5 DEs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 DDs and 5 DEs. So those could be devastating in that if I got a DD, I wouldn't necessarily go across the river, but I could bring that infantry unit down to finish him off and have breached the lower Don that way. So, yeah, it could be devastating. Soviets have to kind of think ahead. How bad is it if he blows me up on that hex? Well, it means he might turn the lower Don, but do I care? The real reason why I'm going to play tanks here is I'm trying to preserve the Russian army so that I can actually do an orderly withdrawal to the lower Caucasus for July. And possibly, into the swamps and things over here. The idea that I'm looking at here is I'm trying to limit the number of units that the Germans can actually eliminate. Because even if I lose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities is 14, and let's give him Moscow. So that's 18 plus the guy in Moscow is 19. Even if I give him 19 production points, I still have 10 left. Which means at that point, he's running out of cities. He can maybe get 2 more for Vologda, right? And then 2 more for Saratov, maybe 2 more for Akastran, and 2 more for Granzi. He's got to take all these cities, all the way to Tiflis, which he might be able to do. I mean, or all the way down to Granzi or whatever. I don't know. It's a close run thing. So the idea is, losing cities, I have a chance to take those back, but losing units, I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and use this because I don't have any aircraft in range to do anything about this. Just to try and preserve the unit. Okay, that's why I'm doing that. Trying to preserve the army. I couldn't use it on the shock army because he's not allowed to use a tanks marker. And I got a no effect, so that's good for me. And then the Germans are like, okay, well, good enough. I killed an army. Establishing a line. Probably going to put this infantry here. Put the Romanian like up here behind the line. An infantry and then an armored. I'm going to probably have to put another German infantry out here somewhere. Maybe even 2. Yeah, we're going to run into number of units problem. All right. So I think I want to have this guy come in first. Now, I can't fight the Russian aircraft up here. There's nothing I can do about that. Because they're in safe spaces, so I have to fight them over wherever I'm fighting. 3, 4, 5, and they cover these 2 guys, but they do not cover in here. So maybe we'll go in here. See if we can't pull off a Kalinin sweep. Well, let's try it. Worst thing that happens is it doesn't work, right? So we're going to go ahead and go north here for a second. Attack. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he can just use that airplane, huh? Because it's not... Okay. Let's not do this. I don't want to do that. If he can get up to +4, that's the best as I'm going to get. So we're not going to do that. What we're going to do... Hello. So we're going to fly the Italian aircraft to where that armored unit is. And then that Italian aircraft is going to knock down that Soviet. Oh, come on. Only a 1 for 1, so we'll just finish him off. Don't want him to escape into. Would have liked to have seen that the first time around. Alright, so now we can go into here, attack. Throw in the airplanes so that we end up at a net +4. Soviets don't have an aircraft that can protect Kalin. I do think that's an important enough hex, because if he gets across there, then he can like attack into here who can't retreat to get it, basically killing units. That's what the German army's trying to do here. We're trying to pick off some armies so that by the end of the summer, if we can get to the point where all we have to do is capture cities, then we can let them retreat and just take their cities. But right now, we've got to capture probably along the order of maybe 10. We started at 30. We've got to capture probably at least 10, maybe 12 armies eliminated to make this conquest work. So we're working on trying to figure out ways to, make it so we can attack somebody that can't retreat and then eliminate the armies. And the Russians, since I'm playing both sides and I know what the Germans are trying to do, are definitely going to try and stop that. This is basically a flanking position that I have to kind of hold. The other one up here is Volkov. If he can get around that, then he can try and flank me down this line. So we're going to see what happens here. So it's +4 to +2. If you look at the combat results table, not that great. Halfway decent chance to retreat him, but, not that great. And I've got a 6-1 split in favor of the Germans. This happens in the game. Whine about it, cry about it, but take it. It happens all the time. It will happen to the Germans, and you will hear the Germans screaming and hollering and jumping up and down, but they don't scream and holler and jump up and down when it happens for them. So feel free to be disgruntled and upset, but it happens, and it will happen to the Germans at some point. But a 6-1 split, especially when I already had a +2 net difference, is definitely very bad for you. It is defender disrupted. The only places I have to retreat are fair terrain, which is also bad because that means the armor can move in and attack me and probably eliminate me because I'll be -2. So yeah, this is not good, but it is part of the game. So we're actually going to go over here. And yes, the Germans are going to take the city. They have 6 points left. So it's either 2 attacks here on this guy who can't retreat, and then try and get somebody up here that can take on this guy, or 1 attack here and 1 attack here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first attack here on this guy that's at -2. I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can get lucky. I'm not going to throw an airplane in. If he wants to throw in an armored to keep himself alive, he's more than welcome, because then it's not available for this guy. And again, as the Soviets, I see that this guy in the swamp, to me, is a little more important this turn, or possibly maybe even, if he decides to run this armored southward, I might need it for these guys down here, because he can negate this airplane outside of Saratov. So, no, I think I'm going to have to say fate has decided that army's going to be decided by a die roll. I want to save this tank. And he, 4 + 4 and 4 - 2. We rolled the same number, but the difference is just too much. Now it's tempting to take this and like move over here and blow up on this, but now you're threatening to run yourself out of supply. So you aren't going there. You want to hang on to this city, so we're going to stop this, and then we're going to go back to here. Hello? Hello? Yeah, we're going to go after this guy. I think we're going to go ahead and throw in another airplane shot in here. Hoping to get at least a DR out of this. Now, right now, it's really good odds that I'll get at least a DR. Now, Soviets have to think again. I'm down to 26 production, or 26 will. Probably not going to push that armored out of Kalin, especially if he moves German infantry up to cover his line of retreat and stuff. So, yeah, we got a problem right here in River City, as they say. I don't think I want to commit the tank at this point. This is his last attack. If he takes me out, he takes me out. He's not going to advance. He's going to probably put a German infantry in there instead. Or even then, he doesn't even need to do that because I can't move into that hex. So then this German infantry can run around behind me. There's not a lot I can do about it. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to save the tank. I'm more worried about some other points on my front. I can't really do anything about this one. I may have to do a wholesale withdrawal in the north, which is very disconcerting because that's really good terrain in there, but a couple of bad diral splits have really kind of messed me up. Alright, we're not going to use the tank. And he only got a DR, but that means I'm most likely going to be kaput it. Because the Germans will want to finish this off. They'll be +1 to 0. Oh boy. Do I use up my airplane? Use it -2. I'm at +1. I'll get 2 attacks with the first. He could make it +1 to 0 one time. Then there'd still be the +1 to -2 following. Yeah, I think we use the first. We're not going to go after any cities or anything up here in the north. Soviets have just a little bit too many units, so I have to try and thin them down. Now, I could throw in my tanks marker here. I don't think it's critical on the first attack to use both of these. I'm trying to sort of entice him to go ahead and use up his tanks marker. Because, why not? He will have to move somebody forward here to keep himself in supply because my zone of control messes up his supply right now. And if I get him to use his tank and I don't get stopped, I can use my tank and aircraft on the following round to make sure that I take care of it. Okay? So I'm not going to use the Germans this time. I'm +1 to -2. He could make it a +1 to 0. But if he does that, then the tanks are all used up. And I still have another attack. So the question is do I want to waste the resources here or save them either for a counterattack or defense on the lower Don? And I think I'm more worried about the lower Don because I need to withdraw to a little better positions there at some point, or even along here because these guys are outside of the aircraft range, right? 3, 4, 5. This guy's outside of aircraft range. This guy's outside of aircraft range. So I have some units that are back behind that are outside of aircraft range, and there's also this city up here, which I consider the other anchor of this flank. So I don't think I want to have that be overrun by, because he still has an airplane and a tank he could use there and be +4, 6. He could be +5 total. 0. So I think I'm going to save the tank for either this city or something down here. So I'm not going to... Already being flipped, it doesn't make sense. If I wasn't flipped, I would use it in a heartbeat to kind of contain this. But I don't think it's a good use of stuff. So I'm not going to use it. So there we go. And the Germans, for the same reason, it's like, it'd be nice, but I don't need it. And there you go. There's the 6-1 split in the Soviet favor. And they've stopped me, which means this guy can't attack anymore. So that's a good thing. Because now, if I come across, I have to come across at -2 with the 10th here. Which is what I'm going to do, because I really need to eliminate Russian armies. But this was an unfortunate 6-1 split. You didn't really expect it. I didn't expect the 6-1 split when I came across at Kalinin. I expected it was going to take me like 2 attacks to get across, and I would like get a retreat, and I would capture the city, and that'd be it. Then I'd be pounding on this guy. So we are going to come across here. We're going to say, boom. Let's go get him. Right now it's 0 to -2. I really think I need to... I will have 2 attacks because I have 4 movement points. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my tanks in, save my aircraft at the moment. And now the Soviets have to think about this. If they stop him here, do the same rules apply? I think the same rules apply. There's more critical spaces than that one to use the tank on. And I got a retreat, which he can't do. So I am going to, since I have a no enemy zone of control, can I go anywhere interesting by moving into the space? That's an interesting quandary in and of itself. Because if I attack this shock army, it'll be +1 to +2. I have to use the airplane to even have a chance to do anything to him. And I can't really follow up the attack. So is there someplace interesting I can move to? If I go into here, I can go 1, 2, 3. I'd still be in supply through Kalinin. And I would be cutting off his retreat routes this way, but then that means just like these shock armies are just going to come and attack him and not give him any retreat routes. So I really don't want to stick my nose out there. I think I'm going to come across the river. And I think I'm going to use my airplane, and I'm just going to attack this shock army and see if I can... Well, hang on a second. I think I will move to here and go ahead and attack the shock army. I use the airplane. So I'm +3 to his +2. Just see if I get lucky and get a retreat. Which I didn't. Okay, so I'm done. Alright. So what do I got left? I got 24 points. We know I want to save 12. So, kind of did okay in the north. It's not the best position. He could try to swarm up on this infantry unit at several +2s and cut off his retreat routes. Won't be isolated, but he could, with enough die rolls, he could eliminate that unit. But if he does that, then he's going to be sitting there right next to my armored unit for the following turn. So that's probably not a good idea on his part. Well, I still think I want to put the second in the Bend of the Dawn here. Now, if I attack, what would I do if I got a success? That's just it. I don't really have any units to follow up. But I think I will go ahead and attack here. I'm only at +1. I could throw in an airplane to become +3. So now the Soviets have to decide. Nobody's, no aircraft's in range down here to help out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The armored unit can get here and attack once on this side. And the infantry unit can attack from this side. He'll have 2 movement points remaining. So if he actually wins it, say he gets a DD, then he could come across and try to eliminate the unit, and then maybe this armored unit runs down here to try and trap the other one in an isolation attack, which could be bad. But where do I want the German army to go? Do I want it to go south, or do I want it to go north? That's the Soviets. I think we want to hold this hex, because that makes him bring his armor down here and attack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He could get an armored attack across here at +3 to 0, and then he could eliminate both. Wow. Should have saved another tank marker. All right. I really don't know what to do with the Soviets. The Germans. Again, we're just trying to get armies, so we're going to go after it. Actually, no, we're not going to use that one. We're going to use the one that only has 4 sorties on it. I really don't know which way to go with this. Well, at +3, I'm not eliminated most times. So I'm going to not use it here. I'm going to save it for that armored unit. I don't know where it's going. It scares me more than anything. And I got lucky and got a no effect. My German 3 to my 6, so the Germans are done. We talked about moving the Romanians off the center here. Two, 3, so you can get to here. So we want to be behind the line. Or do we want to sit up in the city? I think that's a good place for him. All right. Now we've got some shenanigans we have to try and do here. We're going to definitely get 2 more points here. But trying to break across here is going to be real hard because he's got tons of aircraft. So I would be +1, 2, 3 to his +2. Unless I use an armored unit, then I could be +5 to his +2. Now the question is do I want to use an armored unit going northward, or do I want to try and go southward and try and, like I talked about, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I get a retreat, and then 9, 10 here. But then, again, I have my armored sticking out without a lot of infantry support. So if I bring an armor south, I have to bring at least 1 infantry. Maybe 2. Southward to deal with all this. So that's a problem. Maybe I just move the German into here. Oh, that reminds me before I forget. This 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this Italian aircraft's got to move back a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Giant air is going to actually move back to here. That's mostly for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if he wants to fly his aircraft in here and hit me, he won't have many sorties left to get back into his restricted space where he's safe. Should we go up here and attack across the river? I guess we'll just go up here with an infantry unit and do this. Still haven't decided what I want to do with that armored unit. I'm going to attack here. We'll use an airplane for the first attack. Soviets are going to go ahead and put their best air force forward. They're going to save the tanks. Or do I want to put the tanks in here just to completely stop this? Now I'm worried about this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 5 to 0. If he gets an eliminated and then he moves here and this guy's isolated, he could eliminate 2 armies down here. I need to save the tank for down here. I've got airplanes up here to make it so that hopefully I'm only retreated. So yeah, we'll just use our airplane. So it's plus 3 to plus 2. And we commit for both -2s, so... He got a 6 and I got a 4, so he did 2 sorties to my aircraft, so that's the only aircraft I'm going to get. And then it's plus 2 plus 3 is a 5, and he had rolled a 5 plus 2, so 7. So Soviet Army holds. I don't have aircraft to support me anymore, so I don't think I should attack. At this point, doesn't seem like a really good idea. Because I'd be plus 1, and he could throw another airplane in there and be plus 2, and he could possibly get me flipped. So I think I'm just going to stop. I'm done. Took the city, that was something. Now the question is, do I go south with this armored unit? Kind of thin in the north right here, right in the center. We have guys coming, but... Well, he's guarded by the airplane and an armored shit. So he'd have to bring a lot. Well, I think the chance to do this... I'll have to put an infantry unit like here. And then here. And then like here. And put this Yugoslav probably up here. Somewhere. Yeah, so yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it's probably wrong, but let's go lose the game. What do you say? I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna attack. We're going to throw in the 5th Luft. This is where I was saving the tank for. So it's +5 to +2. Combat results table are not that great for me. I should get a retreat, but I may not get a thing like a DD or whatever, something that I can actually eliminate the unit with it. So we confirm, commit, and I got a no effect, so I'm not even doing anything. I'm stopped right there. Which is disconcerting because now I have to put infantry here and an infantry over here. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why I shouldn't have moved that Romanian so fast, because he could have gone and filled in this for me to be in supply. Oh well. Got to send a German army down there to do it. And since we can go ahead and attack, we might as well. We can't advance, but we might as well take the shot. +1 to 0. We're not going to use the airplane. And it's an AS. Okay. Now we have to worry about them running up in here. So we got to kind of screen off the Russian army somewhat. And just start pounding on that armored unit, which is probably what they should do. They only have the one shock army. Best they can get to is like +4 to +4. But all they need is one lucky split, and they might be able to eliminate another armored unit. So maybe I need to keep that from happening at the risk of a German infantry. Interesting dilemmas, huh? All right. Okay, we're going to take a long shot here. Need a 6. Nope. But I did run him up to 5. And my thought was, I have a retreat route, and I have a retreat route. So we're going to actually be somewhat aggressive here. I'm going to put the German 7th Army. It's going to make this airplane run away. This is probably not the way to play this, folks, but hey. Come on, get there. Airplane's going to be at maximum sorties. Ah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So attacking there would not be good. So I'm not going to attack with that one. And this guy, if I take Stalingrad and then he wraps around and kills the 15th Army. Appropriate, but it's midsummer here. If I stay where I'm at, I'm fine. I'm getting close to that point of I'm kind of done with what I can do with the Germans. So let's see. I'm +1. Here's a 0. I've only got 4 movement points left, so even if I take it, I don't get a second attack to like eliminate him. Well, let me look at the combat table. The worst he can do is AS me, and I might DD him, which just makes him spend another point to flip the guy over. So worst he can do is since he can't AA me, it's worth it to attack because you got nothing else better to do. And got an AS. So, all right, that's a very weak line. Hopefully, I can break the lower Don here and capture and eliminate some of these armies. The idea is to eliminate the armies, and I had to make a decision. I decided to go south. I'm gonna have to probably do something about this area in here because this is very weak. So what I'm thinking of doing here, we don't have any other nonsense to do. What can I do? Can I bust? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1, +4 to 0. I could try to bust into Volkhov and then be threatening to surround Bologoye on both sides, trapping the armies and giving me points there. But I hate to use the heavy artillery to do that, so I don't think I'm going to do it that way. What did I say, 12? 15 I had to save, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 airplanes is 12, and I've got 3 guys to build is 15, so I gotta stop. I only get 2 more moves. 2 more guys to do stuff with for the Germans. Well, it seems like one of them should be this, and I'm going to save a point in case I need to flip over an infantry that they knock out. I am going to take the pot shot here. See if I can get a retreat. +1 to 0. See if it works. Nope, not the first time. And we'll attack him again. Again, we're just, if I can get him to retreat, then I'm actually going to move the Yugoslav in. Okay, so I forced him to retreat. But I'm not going to take it with the German. I'm going to leave the German here. And I'm going to have the Yugoslav. Oh, come on, machine. Stop moving. There we go. I'm going to have the Yugoslav. Ooh, do I want to have the Yugoslav move in, or I can have the garrison move in? No, I want the Yugoslav to move in. He takes that. And he's not going to assault. He's just going to say, I'm happy. And so I got another 2 points, and now I'm kind of threatening to do a sort of a sweep to the north and a sweep to the south and bag all 4 armies. So now the Russians have to decide whether they're going to actually try and hang on to this city or just get the heck out of Dodge. And you can bet, in my estimation, getting the heck out of Dodge is a better option here. There's 3 fair weather turns yet to come, and I really can't afford to lose 4 more armies. I'm down to 21 will already. I really can't afford to lose armies. I'm okay here for now. I'm a little worried about this armored unit coming this way. Fortunately, he doesn't have a lot of air support, and I do. You know, for important places like Yaroslav, this guy can cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm okay there. I'm okay covering Saratov from in here. So it's going to be sort of a battle for Stalingrad kind of nonsense in the Caucasus. There's 2, 4, 6 in cities. And a matter of how many armies you can get. So now I have to decide, am I going to defend here? Or am I going to run away? I don't know. So the Axis is going to stop here. They need a minimum of 15. They're going to save a point in case they flip an infantry unit somewhere. And they have to rebuild. The Italians are okay there. They're okay there. I don't think we have... There's no real moves for the Turks. We're kind of happy just sitting here staring at the Soviets. Because I don't have a good assault here. I mean, it just... not even close. I'm going to have to do some supplying down here. I think I'm okay. As long as I supply all my units down here. So 1, 2... Should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's going to be a problem because I'm not going to be able to supply the Germans up in Norway. But he doesn't have anybody in England to invade Norway, so I can get away with that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I didn't skip the... Alright, so first off, let's do this. See who we actually have to do convoys for. Okay, he's got to come out of Helsinki. He's not able to invade me this turn, so these guys can get away with going to Oslo again. I want to keep the airplane in full. He has to come through Benghazi, Alexandria. So it should be 2, 2, and 1. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to supply... We're going to supply all that way. And now it's the west. Now I could make a futile attempt to attack in here, but I really need to have that partisans marker back so that I can actually hit the beaches and have a chance of kicking these people out. So we're not going to do any invasions down there. I do have 18 points. So I'm thinking, other than possibly trying to pull off a bombing run, that I'm just gonna rebuild everything. do lots of sortie rebuilding. Suppose I could move an airplane down to where that Brit is, but I really don't see a point to it right now. I actually I might need it here if I need to try and pull off an invasion into France. I might need all my aircraft to try and maintain it and make the Germans have to do something about it. All right, so let's just go ahead and run the bomber. I don't think you guys have seen me do this yet, so there's a bombing run. And you'll see that it shows you where all the enemy airplanes are covering the spaces. So it makes it easy for you to plot where you're going. Now, I can't go into the Netherlands because it's neutral. So it's got this like little hole here that I can't fly through. But no matter what I do, he's going to get like several shots at me as I try to go into like Metz. So not a lot I can do about it, but I'm just going to go like Paris, and then it's 3 shots whatever to getting to Metz. So we go here, here, hello, here, here, and then here. And now you want to make sure when you're doing bombing runs that you do this, that you make sure that your lanes go outside of his cover as long as possible, because the machine will just measure the shortest number of hexes to getting to the spot. And so it would give him more shots. If I went through here, he'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'd get like 5 shots before I even get to Metz. Here he gets 3 shots before I get to Metz. And so I confirm that, and then of course, as the Germans, this is a game of economic warfare. You go ahead and intercept because you're +2. Oh, it's poor weather. He's a -5. So if I get a 3 or better, he'll take 2 sorties and go away. And he did. I rolled a 5. Now, from the British standpoint, I could fly again, just trying to run his sorties up because he won't be able to deal with me next turn. But the following turn is fair. So even if he's at -2, in fair weather, he's also +2 for being German, so he'll still be 0s. And if I run in there, I could be at 6 sorties and only have 4 sorties once I rebuild it. So I think I'm going to leave it alone, because the Germans aren't going to be able to rebuild this guy. With only 16 points left, we know that the Germans have to rebuild this army because they need the ground troops. And they've got to take care of their air force in the east. What do we do? So I just give up I just give up. Yeah, I can do this. I do it again. And here's why. You go in and you do it again. Same path. Come on, come on, come on. Same path. And the reason why you're doing this is because in fair weather, you're probably not going to bomb anyway. But if we can keep chipping away at this aircraft, it's probably worth it. And of course, the Germans will try it one more time because he knows that he has ultras coming the next 2 turns. And I've only got 1 sub, so we need to try and do something about that. And I only did 1 sortie to him there, so he's going to keep going. Now I have to make a decision. I'm at -2. Net. Which means only a 5 or a 6 stops it. Now, the reason why I'm going to run myself up to 3 here is because then he will be at 6, even if he gets through. So there's no more runs after this. That's why I'm going to do this. And I'm not rolling well at all, but that's okay. He's at 6 sorties. And no more interceptions on that one. So he's going to get a bomb marker in. But he's done. Because he's at 6 sorties. So it's a good exchange for the British. They took 4 sorties for 3 German aircraft sorties. Who knows, they might even pull off one in fair weather next turn. Okay. I think that's it. What do I have on my card? I have nothing to build on my card, so I'm just going to do a bunch of stuff. What do you call it? Sortie rebuilding. For the British. See what I can do. And I still got to run the Force H. So Force H has to run out here. This is sort of a foregone conclusion that Force H is going to do this, and I am not going to waste my surface action marker to try and stop it. Oh, I didn't say I have to do it again. I forgot to hit the little square there, that's why it's doing that to me. Okay, so he's supplied. And they're done. Now we're to the Soviets. Yay, Soviets! What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? That is a good question. So we're down to 21. So let's do a quick inventory. There's 2 here. There's 2 here. Come on, stupid mouse. So we got 2, 4, 6. Right? 8, 10, 8. 9, 10, and 5, 15. That would leave us with 6 if we just run away. 2 at Vologda. Then he has to get Granzi and Akastron. So the question is, do we run? Or do we try and stand and fight? We can run a fairly long way, get away from the Germans. He does have heavy artillery, so he can take out either a Sevastopol or, well, Leningrad he can't take until he isolates it. Wish I had more of my shock armies down here. Because they would stand up in the open terrain a little better. Sir. I mean, I could try to cut off this guy by putting an infantry unit here, but I think I just end up being isolated and he crushes me. Just moves this little garrison up to, isolate me. So then I'd have to put another infantry unit out here to keep him from being isolated. And I'm coming out across my river line which is not a good thing. What have I got to build? I've got 26 points. I've got armor. That's 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 to build. 3, 6, 9, 12. So 8 to build and 12 is 20. That means move 6 guys if you want to do everything. I really do think that I need to evacuate in the north. I need to try and do a retreat here because he's going to get me surrounded up here, and I can't afford to lose the armies. So we're going to go across the sphere, probably with shock armies. Or do I just have regular armies go across the sphere? I think we have... Yeah, they're -2 to come across. Make him bring his armor up here to break through. Right? He'll go there. Part of me says, you know, try to take this back from the Yugoslavs, but I don't have any assets. I don't have any air that I can fly up there, really. I don't have any tanks markers. I don't have any heavy artillery. So, much as I would like to just go here and say attack, you know, he's a 0 +1 for a buddy. This airplane down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could get an airplane in there, so I could be +3 -1. I could be +2 to +1. And if it fails, then I have an infantry unit out here that's probably going to die. So I'm not going to do that. Remember what I said? 3 fair weather turns, I cannot give him easy targets for my infantry. So now all those infantry are -2 to be attacked. This guy can be isolated if he succeeds in an attack there. Now part of me really wants to hold on to Bulagoya, but I think I have to give up those 2 points to be able to put these shock armies like here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, let's see where this other shock army can get to before I decide on where that one goes. This guy, it's pretty much the same situation. Okay. So we can't really get around the corner with my shock armies. We do need to get into positions where we're not being completely flanked. Alright, so we gotta just get out of Dodge. He's gonna go there. This shock army is gonna go here. Yes, I know he's in open terrain. Hopefully with his +2, he can retreat across this river and then down through the woods here. This guy can retreat into Vologda. This infantry is not happy. I don't know if this is the right way to do this, but this infantry looks like he's, you know, in a world of getting surrounded along with these guys. So I'm trying to figure out, I've got basically 2 more guys to move. I'm wondering if there's a better place for him to be. Might not be. This is the weakest spot for him. So maybe I don't need to move these guys. See, he can just move this infantry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you just retreat, and take that city. But then he doesn't have a supply route out if he takes this city. Okay, so that's okay. I don't mind if he tries to do that because he doesn't have a supply route. He's got to go through Moscow to get a supply route. So right now his goal is going to be to surround Moscow. Which, if he gets that retreat, he can go here and then this guy gets surrounded. Dang. I think this guy needs to be on this side of the river. Okay. And then was there somebody I needed to move down in the south? I think I'm just going to try and defend this. This is probably not the right thing to do, but we're going to see how this works. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to see if it works. Skip this. Confirm. Everything of mine should be in supply. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, come on. Ding, 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 ding. All right. I forgot to... This is what it looks like when you get the eliminate units. And if you want to eliminate something, you click on it and then say eliminate unit, and it will take it off, and then you confirm it. Once you confirm it, you can't get it back. I don't want to take anything off. That was dumb. Just plain old dumb. So I want to make sure I get my airplanes. 3, 6, 9. This airplane I know is far away, but I really need to get him back. The Italians. Yeah, there. Do their 2 convoys. The Germans have 4 points left, but they really need to build the armored and the infantry, so they're going to stop right here because they really need to get those units on the board. The British have 18 points. 3. Well, we want to bring down Bomber Command because of the threat, right? That's 4. Now we got 14 points. So my thought is 3 3s and Force H for this turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to take down Force H, and then we're just going to do the aircraft, because now I don't really need to do the aircraft again. And then next turn, when I'm going to have, what, 19, 20, I should be able to, 3, 6, 9, 12, 16 there, which still gives me like 4 points to play around with for the Bomber Command. So, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do there. The Soviets, we talked about this. They're going to do their 4 airplanes. Now, the airplanes that I'm doing, the 6 sortie airplanes, the real reason why I'm doing them is because it's going to cost the Germans are going to have to deal with them. Down here, it helps me hold in this little crescent right in here, so that I can possibly retreat down to Akastran or off the board up here. I can't really help myself here, but it's sort of the trade-off here. There's a whole lot of empty space here before he gets to the final cities that he needs down in Granzi and Tiflis and Akastran. Astrakhan. I always want to put an extra K in there. I'm not supposed to do that. Okay, and so I have 9 points left with the Russians. Soviets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I will build all 8 because I have 3 units coming, so I will have a reserve for rebuilding units. So, yeah, I'm going to be putting out some units here. Probably put an Armor and Infantry. Probably put actually a couple armored in the Central Russia box that I can bring them out either here or up here or even off the eastern edge someplace. And then a couple of infantry units too. So yeah, this is getting a little tense. All right, that's what we're going to do. And then the Germans, of course, are going to go and build their stuff. Because that was the whole point here. The infantry, go ahead and go here because he moves only 8. And you can go into Posen because you move 10. So that's what we're going to do with this. They didn't have anything to build. Now the Soviets, like I said, I think I'm actually going to put a couple of my tank armies in the Central Russia box because I'm kind of short on cities to put them in. We'll go ahead and put the first tank in Granzi because, yeah, we do need to have a unit down there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the 9th Infantry in Strakhan. I almost want to put an infantry in Novorossiysk, but I just have a feeling it would just die. So I'm not going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put an infantry up here in Vologda. And then I'm going to put my last 2 tanks are going to go in the central, in the Central Russia box. And that's because they can come out like right here. They can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can get all the way to here from this edge. All right, from here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They could run and capture an unoccupied Ryazan if he doesn't have things in the way. So these guys can threaten to come in from there. They can come in from up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can run all the way to Vologda. They can come in through Akastran. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can come in through Granzi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the armor can come in from any of these eastern edges, and that's far more important to me than having them sitting in some city trying to garrison it, because now the Germans have to watch their flanks wherever they go. They have to worry about the armor coming in and suddenly, whoops, this guy's now isolated, and the Russians can actually eliminate a German army. Eliminating a German army here or there is probably what the Russians want to do, because then it means the Germans can't possibly might not be able to finish them off come September. It's going to be closer than I like as the Axis, but I think that I will be able to pull it off. Yeah, that's what we'll try. All right, and that was June. We'll be going into July next time. Like I said, I've been trying to keep this to one turn a video, but just because it takes me about an hour and a half to talk my way through what I'm trying to do. Germans are doing okay. They're going to get another 2 for Bologoye. So push the Russians down to 19. Problem is that where most of the Russian army is, I don't really have the ability to completely push it. I have to keep something in here, defensive-wise, because those armored units now can 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can get all the way down to this space right here. 20 is at 2958. From the eastern edge in the restricted area, they can get all the way to 2958. So if they want to cut off the German army, Not a problem. So I've got to put something up here to keep him from running through there, but it's only going to be something like a garrison or a Yugoslav, which means it's going to be easily blown up, and he might still get where he wants to go. So have a problem here, basically. I have issues. I do have, like 3 cities I can get going to the south, which is, and the Bologoya, which would be a grand total of 8, which would put him down to 13. But then, and one of those cities is Stalingrad, not the easiest thing to take. If I break the river, I can pretty much get Novorossiysk. I usually can surround and take Stalingrad. It usually can take Saratov. So that's 3 cities. Then I have to go get Astrakhan and Granzi are going to be much tougher because my front narrows, and then I start getting into garbagey terrain. Fortunately, since I had taken Batum, the Caucasus line is not as tough as it could be. It's still tough. But that could take me 2, maybe even 3 turns to get down there. And then the question is going to be, am I going to have enough oomph in the north here to capture these? Because I don't really have guys that can take out these 3 armies. I've got to turn sort of in this way towards Moscow, and I have to be careful because Moscow screws up my supply all around just because it's the junction. So you can't go too far. Like, if I go all the way to Yaroslavl, I don't have any supply, which is, a problem. German units die out of supply. We showed that last turn. So yeah, it's going to get a little dynamic here in the summer, and it's going to be a matter of whether I can take a few Russian armies as I'm trying to take these cities. If I can take a few Russian armies with me, then I should be okay. And if I can't, then the Soviets might be okay. We'll find out. I will warn you right now. I may try to do a double stream on Monday, where I'm streaming my Bard's Tale Monday morning, and I might try to do this Monday afternoon. I haven't decided if I'm going to be able to do that. Reason being is that I have a work schedule that's basically going to have me working from Tuesday through Saturday for the next week, and working that many days in a row, even though I would probably have some time in the mornings to do streams, they probably wouldn't be very good quality because I wouldn't have a good night's rest or whatever. I'm not sure that this one is all the greatest quality play, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm Gen608. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. Helps the algorithm of YouTube when the people come searching for videos. Also helps motivate me to keep making videos. If you really like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notify button. Then you'll be notified whenever I upload another video or when I run another stream. Other than that, we'll be back with July the next time. I don't know if it'll be in a couple of days or if it will be in a week. It'll be one of the 2. Okay. So until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.